So you learned you had a heart attack.
I did.
Then what?
Well, we're talking with Tim in his office and everything, and we talked about it, and he said to me that, well, I asked where do we go from here, and but you have to understand also at the same time I was a lot bigger than I am now too, and so where do we go from here? And he said, well, I can recommend you to a cardiac surgeon or a cardiologist, and possibly do stents or bypass surgery, whatever the case may be. And hearing that, first I said to Tim, I really don't want to do that. I'm not much for invasive type surgeries or anything, but also what primarily came through mind is I had a talk with a very close friend of mine, Pam, and I was telling her about it, and she said that she had stents put in, had the surgery done, and after that she had multiple mini strokes out of that. Apparently the way it explained to me is that once you have that type of thing, that when the plaque or the materials break away from your heart, they only have one place to go, and that's north, and that's to the brain. And I didn't want to lose any more of my brain that I'd already lost. So, but that stuck in my brain. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to try something. So I asked him, what is it that we can do other than doing that? And he said, well, I can talk to you about and recommend a very severe change in the way you eat and you eat ham. And this book that he talked to me about, Dr. Esselstein.
Okay.
And so I said, well, tell me more about it. So he did. And after he got done talking about it, I mean, it's a life-changing thing. It's not a diet. It's changing the way you think, the way you eat, and the way you perceive different things and how you go about doing your business. And so after he got done talking about it, I said, I don't know if I can do this. You're talking to a guy who, and I have to say this, I love to eat, and I still love to eat. But for me, eating was prime rib, steak, hamburgers, all of the stuff that I grew up on, steak and potato type guy. Lobster, loved lobster, and when I eat lobster, I don't eat a lobster. I typically would eat 6 lobsters. In butter, the whole works. So I said, you're talking to somebody that likes to eat, and I don't know if I can do this. And so I said to him, well, if I do this, how long do I have to do this? I figure 6 months maybe, and his answer was, well, how long do you want to live? And so that was another shock, and then that I do have a serious problem. But my answer was, I think I want to live a long time, so I think I'll try it. Okay. So I did.
So what'd you do? What does that mean? You changed your lifestyle?
Oh, well, it meant, I tell this to people all the time, and they get a kick out of it, because they'll say, well, what do you mean by that? So, well, I said to him, so what do I eat? And it was, well, you got to eat your vegetables and this and that. He said, I'm going to make it simple for you. If it has a face or a mother, you don't eat it. And I said, oh, what do you mean? Well, if it has a face or a mother, so that means no pork, no beef, no chicken, no fish. And I said, oh my goodness sake. So, and that's when he also, the book. So we went out and got the book, and my wife, and thank God for my wife, because I know that I probably would not be here talking to you today, because I don't think I could have made it without her, because it's a very, very difficult, life-changing thing. It's the way I had eaten for 57 years, it was going down the drain. And it was going to change, and I had to eat plant-based foods and organic foods and grains and whole wheats. And I thank my good friend and doctor here, and his wife, because we went over to the house and they taught us how to cook some things. But it was a significant change in the type of way we ate. So it was about that, and exercise and everything. So it was huge. It was huge.
So you were a meat and potatoes, hamburger kind of guy. Tell me sort of about your first hamburger alternative.
Oh my goodness, okay. And I don't mean to offend anybody out there that likes what I'm about to say, but I was told and somebody convinced my wife to cook me the new hamburger, which is called a portobello mushroom. And it's about so big, I'm sure you've seen this. And so they told us, just throw it on the George Foreman grill it, put it on a whole wheat bun with some tomato and onion, whatever the case may be, and I did, and it didn't work. It was like biting into my arm. and I said to her, if this is the new hamburger, then I give up hamburger. I'll totally give up hamburger. But for all those people that like portobello mushrooms, it's because we didn't know how to cook it properly. There is a way to use it and do it, and apparently it's good. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but but it's okay.
So you radically changed your lifestyle.
Exactly.
And food was a huge part of that.
Oh, absolutely.
And learning to prepare that food was critical.
It's very critical. And as I said earlier about thank God for my wife, is because she, although she didn't have to, she was the person who was going to have to do basically all of the cooking for me. And so she dug into the book, and we went online looking at different type of recipes. And the interesting thing is that because we immediately were looking at vegetarian recipes, and come to find out I couldn't eat a lot of that stuff. So basically I'm well, vegan, or I say to myself, I'm a super vegan at this point, because of my heart disease and my problem, where some people can have some oils, I cannot. Right. So I have to substitute applesauce and things like that for oils and whatever the case. But we went online and come to find, and then she has learned to, and it's taken a year, you know, over the course of a year, to get to the point where she can cook a whole lot of really neat stuff. I'm eating things now that I wouldn't even have thought about eating. I still won't eat the portobello mushroom, but there are things that I mean, tofu and flaxseed and all kinds of other things. But what we found out is, what she's found is, we may cook a particular meal, and what's left of the rice and the vegetables and this and that fits very well into the next meal, which is a soup, and she'll combine it into a soup and put some potatoes and whatever, and it just keeps on going from there. But I found there were a myriad of recipes out there, and millions of things. Dr. Howe's wife has given us a lot of recipes, and other people have given us recipes. So there's a lot to do out there.
So you radically changed your lifestyle, not
Yes.
only your diet,
Right.
but physical activity and,
Yes.
and other things as well.
Absolutely, of course. I didn't do a whole lot of physical activities for the last few years because I've been involved in so many political things and boards and committees and things like that. That I got away from the physical aspects of it. But the interesting thing is, I had just joined the gym in Brunswick and was using the elliptical trainer and things like that. So I knew I had to get out there and start exercising, but right after that's when I had the heart attack. Right. So I stopped because I was afraid. I didn't know how much exercise that I could actually do. But Dr. Howe obviously convinced me that I could go out there and do some things, none of the upper body type things, lifting the weights and that type of thing, but certainly a lot of the cardiovascular exercises. So we walk the bike path, or do a lot of walking around and this and that, and other types of things.